Right now, plants all around the world are performing what might be the most important biological process on Earth, capturing sunlight and converting it into food and oxygen. Without this process, complex life as we know it simply couldn't exist. Welcome to Sciesmic. I'm Matt, and today we're exploring photosynthesis, the amazing process that literally powers the living world. Every breath you take, every meal you eat, and most of the energy on Earth can be traced back to photosynthesis. Let's discover how plants become the ultimate solar energy converters. Photosynthesis converts carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen using light energy. It's essentially the opposite of cellular respiration. Instead of breaking down glucose to release energy, photosynthesis builds glucose to store energy. Where cellular respiration consumes oxygen and produces carbon dioxide, photosynthesis consumes carbon dioxide and produces oxygen. It's like having two complementary processes that balance each other in nature. Photosynthesis happens in chloroplasts, specialized organelles found mainly in plant leaves. These green organelles contain the molecular machinery needed to capture light energy and convert it into chemical energy. The key insight is that photosynthesis captures light energy from the sun and stores it in the chemical bonds of glucose molecules. This stored energy can then be released later through cellular respiration when organisms need it. Photosynthesis occurs in two main stages: the light reactions, which captures solar energy, and the Calvin cycle, which uses the captured energy to build glucose from carbon dioxide. The light reactions happen in the thylakoids, flattened sacs inside chloroplasts that are stacked like pancakes, but without the syrup. This is where the magic of light energy capture takes place. Chlorophyll molecules in the thylakoid membranes absorb light photons, causing electrons to become excited and jump to a higher energy level. It's like solar panels, but at the molecular level. When chlorophyll loses these high energy electrons, it replaces them by splitting water molecules. This is where the oxygen we breathe comes from. It's actually a waste product of photosynthesis. The excited electrons move through an electron transport chain, similar to the cellular respiration one, but running in reverse. This process creates ATP and NADPH, energy carriers that will be used in the next stage. Just like in cellular respiration, protons are pumped across membranes to create a gradient, and ATP synthase uses this gradient to produce ATP. It's the same molecular machine, just running in a different location. The light reactions convert solar energy into the chemical energy of ATP and NADPH, while producing oxygen as a bonus byproduct. The Calvin cycle happens in the stroma, the fluid-filled space inside chloroplasts. This is where carbon dioxide from the air gets converted into glucose using the energy captured in the light reactions. The cycle begins with carbon fixation. CO2 from the atmosphere combines with existing 5-carbon molecules using an enzyme called rubisco. This is literally how carbon from the air becomes part of living matter. Isn't that amazing? The ATP and NADPH produced in the light reactions provide the energy needed to convert the carbon compounds into glucose precursors. Without the light reactions, the Calvin cycle couldn't function. Through a series of chemical reactions, the cycle produces glucose while regenerating the 5-carbon molecules needed to capture more CO2. It's a continuous cycle that can run as long as light energy is available. The beautiful thing is how these two stages complement each other and work hand in hand. Light reactions capture energy and produce materials that the Calvin cycle needs, while the Calvin cycle uses those materials to build the glucose that stores the captured energy. The net result is that solar energy has been converted into stable chemical energy in glucose molecules that can be stored, transported, and used whenever needed. Ever wonder why plants are green though? Well, it's because chlorophyll absorbs red and blue light very efficiently, but reflects green light back to our eyes. Green is literally the color that plants don't use. Plants actually have several pigments inside chlorophyll, carotenoids that absorb different wavelengths and appear yellow or orange. This is why leaves change color in fall when chlorophyll breaks down and other pigments become more visible. These pigments work together in antenna complexes that capture light energy across a broader spectrum and channel it to chlorophyll molecules in reaction centers. It's like having multiple types of solar collectors all working together. Different plants have evolved different pigment combinations based on their environments. Underwater plants often appear red or brown because they've adapted to use the light wavelengths that actually penetrate deepest into the water. Interestingly, photosynthesis is only about 1 to 2% efficient at converting solar energy to chemical energy, but it's been perfected over billions of years and works with sustainable, self-repairing biological materials. Photosynthesis and cellular respiration are like biological opposites that create a perfect balance in nature. Photosynthesis stores energy by building glucose, while cellular respiration releases energy by breaking glucose down. The oxygen produced by photosynthesis is used by cellular respiration, while the carbon dioxide produced by cellular respiration is used by photosynthesis. It's a beautiful example of how life creates balance. Amazingly, plants do both processes. They photosynthesize during the day when light is available, and they actually do cellular respiration all the time to power their cellular activities, just like animals and you do. This creates the foundation for almost all life on Earth. Solar energy captured by photosynthesis flows through food webs, ultimately powering nearly every living thing on the planet. Photosynthesis literally created the world we live in. The oxygen in our atmosphere comes from billions of years of photosynthesis. Before plants evolved, Earth's atmosphere had, well, almost no oxygen. All food webs start with photosynthesis, where you eat plants directly or eat animals that eat plants, and virtually all the energy in your food can be traced back to photosynthesis, capturing solar energy. Photosynthesis helps regulate Earth's climate by removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Forests, especially tropical rainforests, are massive carbon sinks that help balance global CO2 levels. Beyond food and oxygen, photosynthesis gives us wood, paper, cotton, many medicines, and fossil fuels, which are ancient stored photosynthetic products. Modern civilization literally depends entirely on photosynthesis. This is why protecting photosynthetic organisms is so important. Deforestation, ocean acidification, and climate change all threaten photosynthesis, which threatens the foundation of life itself. Understanding photosynthesis helps us appreciate why we need to protect forests, reduce carbon emissions, and develop sustainable agriculture practices. Photosynthesis is truly one of biology's most elegant processes. It captures the energy of our star and converts it into the chemical energy that powers the living world, from light reactions in thylakoids to the Calvin cycle in the stroma. It's a perfectly coordinated system. Understanding photosynthesis is crucial for addressing global changes like climate change, food security, and renewable energy. Who knows, maybe you'll become a plant biologist, developing more efficient crops, or an environmental scientist protecting photosynthetic ecosystems. Now, don't forget to subscribe, and let us know down in the comments, what amazes you most about how plants capture and convert solar energy? Thanks for exploring Earth's most important process with Sciesmic. Want to explore more about plant biology and ecological systems? Check out our complete science curriculum at Sciesmic.com, where every student can learn, grow, and achieve.